Adaptive Cruise Control uses data from the camera on the windscreen and the radar sensor in the front bumper to keep to the speed you want while maintaining the correct following distance from the vehicle in front. If you get too close to the vehicle in front, your vehicle will slow right down to a complete stop if need be, without you having to brake. When the following distance is sufficient again, your vehicle will return to your set cruising speed. To turn the feature on, press this switch as many times as necessary to select the Adaptive Cruise Control function. This indicator light comes on, along with dashes to indicate that the system is ready to store a cruise speed, and the message Adaptive Cruise Control Ready, Set to Activate, appears on the instrument panel. The minimum storable speed is 30 km/h. Once you've reached the speed you want, press one of these switches. The feature is then switched on, and the current speed is stored. The speed appears in green on the instrument panel, accompanied by this indicator light. The chosen cruise speed is also represented by a line on your speed bar. You can change the cruise speed at any time by pushing Set Plus to increase the value and Set Minus to reduce it. Press and hold to change the speed by increments of 10 km/h. Please note that when the Adaptive Cruise Control is activated, a following distance is always activated by default. This corresponds to a 2-second following time, displayed in green on the instrument panel. You can also visualize the selected following distance directly on the Adaptive Cruise Control indicator. When the system detects a vehicle in your lane, a vehicle silhouette appears on the instrument panel above the tracking bars. Your vehicle then matches its speed to that of the vehicle in front, and brakes if need be to maintain the following distance, as displayed on the instrument panel. The following distance between you and the vehicle in front can be adjusted by pressing this switch several times. Horizontal tracking bars appear on the instrument panel, representing the distance you've set. The further away the bar is from your vehicle, the longer the following time. About 2.4 seconds for a long distance, and 1.2 seconds for the closest following distance. Once the cruising speed is stored and distance control is activated, you can take your foot completely off the accelerator and brake pedals. However, you are strongly advised to keep your feet close to the pedals to be ready to intervene if necessary. When you come up behind a slower vehicle in the same lane, your speed will adjust to theirs to maintain your set following distance. If the vehicle in front slows down and stops for up to 30 seconds before moving off again, your vehicle will do the same without you having to touch the pedals. If the system detects an obstacle in the surroundings, automatic restarting will be prevented until the next shutdown. If the vehicle restarts after 30 seconds, simply touch the accelerator or press this button to move off. The message "Press Res or Accelerate to restart cruise control" is displayed on the instrument panel to confirm this. If you stop for longer than 3 minutes, Adaptive Cruise Control will be switched off, and the electronic parking brake will be applied. You will then have to restart the function. Be aware, however, that the function has limited braking power and cannot provide emergency braking. If the system displays the detected vehicle in orange, accompanied by an audible signal, it's telling you that you need to watch out and be ready to intervene. If this display appears, accompanied by an audible signal, you must take immediate evasive action because the Adaptive Cruise Control cannot brake sufficiently to avoid the hazard. You can exceed the cruise speed at any time, when overtaking for example, simply by depressing the accelerator pedal. While you're overtaking, the cruise speed will flash yellow on the instrument panel. Note that when you depress the accelerator pedal, the distance control function is no longer provided. When your speed exceeds 70 km/h, switching on the flashing indicator temporarily reduces the stored following distance and increases your vehicle's acceleration to enable overtaking. When you've finished overtaking, gently release the accelerator pedal so that cruise and distance control restart automatically. In addition, if you activate your direction indicator light to change lanes, the system anticipates the lane change and adjusts your speed to match the vehicle in the adjacent lane. The system can be put on standby by pressing the brake pedal or pressing this switch. The adaptive cruise control automatically switches to standby when the gear lever is in position R or N, when you unfasten the driver's seatbelt or open one of the doors, or when you are driving on a steep slope. The cruising speed and the following distance are then stored. The indicator light and the cruise speed appear in grey on the instrument panel, accompanied by the message Adaptive Cruise Control disconnected. Just press this switch to restart it. The last settings that were saved are then restored. Pressing this switch restarts cruise control and applies your current speed instead of the stored speed. Lastly, simply press the same switch to turn off the adaptive cruise control. Bear in mind that this feature is an additional driving aid that must not replace your vigilance as a driver. Generally speaking, always adapt your speed to the traffic conditions, irrespective of the system's indications.